My older sister switched to Spanish the second I sat down at the dinner table and didn't even flinch. My mother is Cuban. My sister's father was Cuban. My father was Irish and vanished before I learned to walk. That made me the palest face at every family gathering and the only one who couldn't follow a single conversation in my own kitchen. Growing up, my older sisters Maya and Sophia spoke Spanish with each other constantly. At dinner, in the car, on the couch, while I sat right between them. I'd catch a word here and there, but whenever I asked what they were saying, Maya would smile and say, "Don't worry about it." Sophia would just look at me like I'd asked for something expensive. I begged my mother to teach me Spanish when I was 11. She said she would when things calmed down. Things never calmed down. I asked Maya to practice with me, and she laughed so hard she choked on her water. She said my accent sounded like a white tourist ordering tacos. Sophia told me I'd never sound right because my tongue was too American. Whatever that means. I downloaded apps, watched telenovelas with subtitles, filled entire notebooks with conjugations nobody would ever check, but without a single person willing to actually speak with me. I was just memorizing sounds I couldn't use, like learning to swim by reading about water. So I stopped trying. My best friend Nora's grandmother was from Dublin. She spoke Irish Gaelic and told stories about growing up near the coast that made you feel salt air in your chest. She started teaching us phrases after school while she made soda bread, and something clicked in a way Spanish never did, because someone was actually willing to sit with me and be patient. Someone actually wanted me to learn. I started studying Gaelic seriously. Nora and I practiced during lunch, wrote each other notes in class, watched Irish films on the weekends with the subtitles off. Her grandmother gave me a claddagh ring and said I had the ear for it. Nobody in my life had ever told me I had the ear for anything. The first time my sisters noticed was when I changed the audio on a show we all watched together to Irish. Maya grabbed the remote and switched it back so fast, she nearly broke it. "What is that?" she said, staring at me like I'd put something rotten on the screen. "Irish. I'm learning it." Sophia laughed from the other end of the couch. "Why would you learn that? Nobody speaks that. Nobody in this house speaks Spanish to me either. So what's the difference?" The room went quiet. My mother looked up from her phone for the first time all evening. Maya's voice turned sharp. "You're half Cuban. You should be learning Spanish, not some random European language because you want to feel special." I felt the heat rise straight up my neck. I tried learning Spanish for 4 years. You said my accent was embarrassing. Sophia said my tongue was wrong. Mom promised to teach me and never sat down once. Not once. So I found someone who actually wanted to help me. Sophia stood up. "You're doing this to spite us." "I'm doing this because Nora's 72-year-old grandmother has done more for me in 6 months than my own family did in 15 years. My mother finally spoke. Her voice was small. "You're being dramatic. We would have helped you eventually." Eventually. I repeated the word and let it hang in the air like smoke. "You had my entire childhood, Mom." Eventually never came. Maya crossed her arms so tight, her knuckles turned white. "So now you're going to walk around pretending to be Irish? You're not Irish. You don't even know your father. And you made sure I'd never feel Cuban either." My voice cracked, but I didn't care anymore. "So what am I supposed to be? Nothing?" That landed. I watched it hit each of them differently. My mother looked at the floor. Sophia sat back down slowly. "Mommy." Maya opened her mouth, then closed it and stared at the wall. "You didn't want me in your language. Fine. I accepted that. But you don't get to be angry that I found my own." I walked out and drove to Nora's house. Her grandmother was in the kitchen, humming something old and slow. She looked up when I came in and didn't ask what happened. She never had to. She just pointed at the chair across from her and poured tea into a cup that was already waiting like she knew I was coming. I cried into that tea for 20 minutes while Nora sat beside me rubbing circles on my back and her grandmother hummed. And when I finally stopped, she placed both hands on my face and said in English so I wouldn't miss a single word, "A language is just a door. Love. The people who care about you hold it open. The ones who don't were never standing on the other side." I went home 3 hours later. The house was dark except for the kitchen light. My mother was sitting at the table with a Spanish workbook open to page 1, a brand new one. The price sticker was still on the cover. She didn't apologize. She didn't explain. She just slid the book toward my chair and said, "Sit down. We're starting from the beginning." I sat down. She started with the alphabet, pointed at each letter with her finger and pronounced it slowly, waiting for me to repeat it, correcting me gently when I got it wrong. And for the first time in my life, she didn't leave.